Hello, everyone. This is Coach Schumann, and welcome to the final broadcast of our recruiting seminars, the masterclass. So far, we've covered some really great things in our first three classes. Today, we're going to cover in our final class the exact steps that you have to take, and we have some people that will be live too as well on Instagram. The exact steps you have to take in order to get recruited and be able to give yourself the best opportunity to get recruited. So we're going to cover all that today. For some of our friends that are going to watch a piece of this today from Instagram, we welcome you. It's good to see you guys again. We're going to go through those exact steps today. So if you have a pen and paper, you're going to want to write these things down. We covered some really important things in the first three sessions. In today's class, we're going to cover in the final session exactly what to do to go and get yourself recruited. So just a little recap of what we covered in the first three masters class. We covered some of the tips and techniques in order to get recruited, some of the things along the lines with Twitter, how to use DM in order to help yourself get recruited, how to reach out to coaches, some of those step processes in order to do that. We'll cover that today again. We'll also cover a recap, the Ncaa, some of the things with respect to the Ncaa and helping you guys understand the important things with respect to that. So we'll cover that today as well. So you're going to learn some things again from that. It'll be a recap. And then the most important thing, which is going to be our 10 steps, okay? Our 10 steps, exactly how to get recruited. And so exactly what to do to get yourself in the best position. Now, I'm going to put a precursor here that if you're not a great athlete, if you're not a college level player, if you're completely undersized and your size doesn't correlate with your speed or athleticism, it's going to be very difficult to get recruited. If you don't play varsity, if you're not a starter on your team, it's going to be difficult to get recruited. If you're an excellent player, if you're an all-conference player, if you're an all-state player, if you're somebody that has the right measurables and the right speed and right athleticism and have the skill set, then you're going to be in a good position to get recruited. We'll talk more again about college camps. So if you got your pen and paper, let's first start with our recap of the class, and I'm gonna write it down for you guys as we go. Number one, the most important thing that you have to do is you have to have the widest base possible of your reach out in order to get recruited. Okay, so you have to choose, and we talked about this, you have to choose at least 100 schools that you're going to focus on from a recruiting standpoint that you're going to reach out to. You're going to reach out to the recruiting coordinator, the positional coach, and you're going to reach out to as well the head coach if possible. So now at the D2 and D3 level, you're going to have a better opportunity to speak with the head coach. At the Division I, FCS, or BCS, that you're going to more likely be better off speaking to the recruiting coordinator, position coach. And as you start to move up the food chain from that standpoint, the head coach will certainly obviously get involved from that standpoint. So you got to choose 100 schools that you're going to focus on. That is step number one. Step number one. And along with the recap, I'm going to give you the steps. You got to choose 100 schools that you're going to focus on. 100 schools. That's your first step. If you feel that you're a Division I level player and you want to reach out to the FCS schools, BCS schools, then certainly by all means do so. If not, then you've got to choose appropriately. Where can you find those lists of schools? I'm going to give you a place where you can find every single BCS and FCS school, and it's real simple and it's real easy. You're going to go to Google and type in BCS football schools, and Wikipedia will have a list of every single school with all of their head coaches listed. Same thing for FCS, do the same exact thing. Okay, so you're going to go there, you're going to pick your 100 schools. If you're looking for Division II or Division III, you're going to do the same exact thing as well. Okay, and you're going to pick those schools, and you're going to go and reach out to them, and you're going to give yourself the best opportunity to reach out to those schools. Okay, so it's important that you find those places to choose, and those top. So you got 100 schools now. That's your pool. That's the first thing you're going to do. Step number two. As you put together your 100 schools, you're going to put together your profile. Okay, your profile. This is step number two. Your profile must include your information, which is your name, your address, all of that stuff. Okay, your highlight link, your 40-yard dash if it's been verified somewhere, your height and weight, the school you go to, the grade you're in, or graduation class that you're in. Those are critical things that you're going to put together in your profile. You must have your SAT, ACT score if you have it, your GPA, okay? Because the first thing the coach is going to ask for is your transcript. And if your transcript is not up to par, that's the quickest way for them to filter you out of the process, okay? So step number two is you're going to create your profile, and you're going to put that on a Google Doc. Create that profile and put it on a Google Doc. Okay, if you have a picture, great. If you have a video, even better, introducing yourself, what you can do. So on that profile, you're going to have all your info, your transcript, your video, your measurables, an intro video, if you can do it. You can do it with your phone. Today I had to do the class from a different location today, and as part of doing it from a different location, I had to do it from my phone. Video is just as good. Do a video from your phone, put that into a Google Doc, save it, okay? Real simple. That's step number two. Put together your profile, okay? I would say like 2A is to make sure your transcript, you go and get your transcript, and you have that and you take a look at it, because if you don't know what your transcript is like, then you don't want to go off to college coaches. So you want to make sure you take care of that, and you look at your transcript and you find out all the information according to that, and things that can help you from that standpoint. So that is two. So number one, 100 schools to focus on. Number two, create your profile. Number three, third step is your reach out to the 100 schools. So on your reach out to the 100 schools, you're going to do it multiple ways. The first way that you're going to do your reach out, the number one way that you're going to do your reach out is via email. Number two, via phone. Number three, if you have the info, text. Number four, DM in Twitter. Those are your 4 steps within step number 3 on your reach out. You're going to reach out to all 100 schools. I said in step number 1, when you list your 100 schools, you got to get the recruiting coordinator, and you have to get the head coach, and you have to get the information on your positional coach. Now, if you watch video number 1, which I made available for a lot of people, okay, if you watch video number 1 again, I show you exactly how to find information. If you can't get it from the college website, you can go back to YouTube to find that out, exactly how to reach out and find the information available publicly on every single coach. You can go to their football websites for the school, but you can also go to the school directory. If you remember, I told you that in episode 1. Okay. Step number 4, you reach out to the schools. Your next step is your follow-up. Your next step is your follow-up. Okay, and guys that are on Instagram, I'm doing recruiting right now. I'll do a session, and I'll remind myself we'll do a class on strength and speed, okay, and football drills for you, and I'll give you places to get all that kind of stuff. So I acknowledge what you're writing there. I'll get to you guys on another session. This one's purely recruiting. Okay, so follow-up. What's your follow-up? How do you follow up? When do you follow up? The best day to call is Wednesday nights. That's the best day to call. Okay, Wednesday night is the best day to call. If you call on Wednesday night, that's usually recruiting night, especially in season. All right, you must follow up in all 3 or 4 avenues, and you must follow up with your 100 schools once a week until either you get a no, they're not interested, or you start to get the recruiting process rolling, meaning you get letters, you get a contact back. Now, if you're underage and you're under a junior, sophomore, freshman, that contact, you want to make sure you have your high school coach's information on your profile, okay? Because you want to make sure that you give that to them because they may have to reach out to your high school coach if they're interested. All right, so you have to follow up 1 time per week with as many schools as you can on your 100 list. Okay, so that's the 4th thing, your follow-up. Number 5, you must plan and attend independent camps and combines and college camps. And I'm going to give you the bonus, which is all-star games. It's game film. People want game film. That's what they're getting in that. I think 7-on-7 has some value, but I think the most important thing is going to showcase camps in the spring, going to college camps in the summer. If you go to other showcase camps as well, that's good. If you're a skill guy, definitely playing 7-7 enhances your skills, but if you can play in an all-star game where you can get game film against other great players, especially if you don't play against great competition in high school, that's a home run for you. That is a home run. So you want to go to showcases, college camps, if you play some 7-on-7 or lineman camps, and then you want to play in some all-star games. Okay, those things will be helpful. You get film. And you want to go to as many things as possible that are filmed because then you can get copies of that. But there's nothing to stop your parents from filming in the stands, especially at a combine or showcase. At an all-star game, it's a lot harder to get good film, so you want to utilize the film that they give you if you can get that. Okay, so that's an important thing to make sure you go. So that's step number 5, plan and attend showcase camps. Number 6, understand the NCAA guidelines for recruiting and pick up a copy of the student athlete the college bound guide for student athletes. Google it. Google it, download the PDF, print it so you have it. Keep it in your room. Give it to your parents, a copy, so you understand all that stuff. So make sure, okay, you go and get the College Bound Guide. Step number 6, the College Bound Guide. From a video standpoint. College Bound Guide for the student athlete. Okay, that's important to make sure that you go and get a copy of that. Okay, so you can go ahead and help yourself from a recruiting standpoint. That's step number 6. Okay, make sure you understand the NCAA guidelines. You go to NCAA's website. You go and take care of, you get yourself a copy of the College Bound Guide for the student athlete. Google that. Download the PDF. Learn it. Number 7, Clearinghouse. NCAA Clearinghouse. This also has to do with the NCAA. Make sure you fill out the Clearinghouse information, which is we went through on video number 2. Okay, we covered the NCAA. Go through the Clearinghouse. Fill out the information necessary to help yourself get recruited. Okay, make sure you fill out and you understand the eligibility rules, the sliding scale, and I actually did have a copy of the sliding scale. But you want the sliding scale, so you want to understand what that sliding scale is, and I'll get that for you right now. Pretty sure I have it. I guess I don't have it over here, but I usually do. I don't know what happened to it. I guess somebody took it. But you want to have the sliding scale. You want to understand the sliding scale, which is the correlation between your GPA, your ACT and SAT score, and have that information in the courses you took, and take care of that from a clearinghouse standpoint. Register yourself with the NCAA clearinghouse, so you make sure you have that information taken care of, so you're eligible and know what you need to do to make sure you're eligible, especially at all three levels, but Division I and BCS, FCS level. So let's recap the first 7 steps. You got 100 schools to focus on. You got to develop your profile, number 2. Number 3, you got to do a reach out to your 100 schools via email, phone, text, direct messenger, or Twitter. Okay? You want to do that with the recruiting coordinator, head coach, positional coach. You want to follow up preferably on Wednesdays. You want to make sure you do your follow-up. Number 5, okay, you want to plan and attend showcases, college camps, both showcase in the spring. If you want to do some 7-to-7 O-line, the D-line challenges, yeah, definitely do those. College camps in the summer and some showcase camps, all-star games, postseason if you can. Some people have different state regulations, but if you're able to do it, definitely worthwhile. Number 6, understand the NCAA guidelines. Okay, it's important to go to the NCAA's website, under ncaa.org, start to go to their guidelines, get the college-bound guide for the student athlete. That's number 6. Number 7, go to the clearinghouse. Make sure you fill out the information for the clearinghouse. Make sure you know when the SAT, ACT dates are. Make sure you know the courses that you have from your transcript, which you should have gotten in step number 2, the clearinghouse, in order to make sure that you go and have the information necessary to make sure that you're eligible. So that's step number 7. Number 8, meet with your head coach. This is important. This is critical. You've got to have your head coach involved in your dreams. Okay? The more you have your head coach involved, the better off you're going to be. The more you have his buy-in to helping you, the better off you're going to be. If he helps you in this process, it's only going to help you in the long run. Okay? So you want to meet with your head coach. Talk about ask him what level he thinks you're at. That will help you revise your 100 schools, okay? Also talk to him about what you would like to be able to do, if that's possible. What does he think about it? Get his buy-in. If even you need to, get your parent on the phone with him to talk about it. I think it's important, if you do want to play in college, that you have that kind of contact with your head coach and you build that kind of relationship. If you're not doing everything that he asks you to do, it's going to be hard to build that relationship. So you want him, that's step number 8, meet with your head coach, talk about what you want to get accomplished. Okay, number 9. So after you meet with your head coach, you talk about what you want to get accomplished. The number 9 step is get help when you can, from an expert. Here's one of the most important things you can. If you know someone that's been through the process, there's definitely value. But every person's situation is different. There are companies out there that provide services that help you. Okay? Some of them I've been partnered with in the past and have done a good job. Some of them are watered down and too expensive. But you know what? The truth is, if there's value in it, there's no expense that shouldn't be spared, because you could be getting $300,000 back in the scholarship money. So if you have to spend some money to do that, it may be worth it in your case. So if you don't have help, get help where you can. Find experts and mentors that can help you with this process. Make sure you vet them to understand their background and experience. You know, I've been in the game for 15 years as a coach. Yeah, hey Turner, I know exactly what happened. I know. Reach out to me, hit me up over there. Anyway, so from a recruiting standpoint, you want to get help when you can from the experts and be able to find. So if you have to pay, it may be worthwhile in some cases. If not, then you want to make sure that you go, and if you're trying to go the free route and you don't have the money to be able to do that, you want to seek out people that can help you. And that's an important thing. I just want to reach out here right back. All right, so finish up. So number 9, get help where you can from experts and mentors. This is critical. You'll have an opportunity at people over on the live stream. You'll have an opportunity to get all of these classes again. Even though my lucky people who have been on my classes live got the greatest bang for their buck being on these classes. You guys will get access to it, so it's not over. You'll be able to get access at another time as well, and I'll make that available for you guys for a fee, but I'll make it available for you. So you'll be able to get these 4 master classes. The guys that have been with me live the whole entire time on all 4 classes have gotten amazing value from it, and they're learning a lot. So for mentors and experts, number 9. Number 10, and this is the final and most critical thing, okay? There's 2 parts to number 10. Number 1, you have to repeat the process over and over again. And filter in and filter out schools according to when you're getting yeses and nos. So you've got to repeat the process of the 100 schools if you're not getting reached out to. And I'll give you a subsection C on this, okay, while you're repeating the process over and over again on this process. It's important to get feedback along the way. And that's my C for it. Get feedback. And then my subsection D of number 10, by subsection D, after you get feedback, is ask where you stand with each school that you talk to. If you do that, you'll be in a great position. I'm going to give you a couple of, in 2 seconds, I'll take questions, and I'm going to give you two more bonuses that will really help you. Bonus number 1. Bonus number 1. If you could work out and have college coaches come and watch you work out in the morning, they get 2 evaluations between April 15th and May 30th. One is for academic, one is for athletic. Get them to watch you work out after school. Seeing you move, that's the fastest way to get a scholarship, okay? Especially if you're an unknown. Hold your question. We'll get to you first in a second. Okay, I'll write it down. So working out for them live between that April 15th and May 30th time period, okay, or at one of your sporting events, invite the coach to come watch you run track at a track meet. Fastest way to get a scholarship offer, seeing that stuff. Here's your number 2 bonus. So bonus number 1 was workout for them live in the spring. Bonus number 2, personal junior days. So we talked about in the first session going on junior days with a whole group of people that are invited to a college campus, and that's great. Bonus number 2 is get your own personal junior day. Call the school up. If they have an interest in you, tell them you'd like to come up and meet with coach. Maybe somebody can show you around. If they have a real interest in you, they'll be glad to have you come up there. I've found people get offers. Less people are there, more personal attention. More personal attention leads to offers. Okay. I want to give you one more bonus. And this is for athletes that are interested in going to scholarship, but instead of going to a huge college campus, here's my 3rd bonus for you. My 3rd bonus. Go to an FCS smaller schools one-day camp, or if you're Division II, Division III level, go to their one-day camp. Instead of being where there's 10,000 kids, go there when there's only 50 kids. Okay, and I've had athletes that did it. I had one year, I had athletes named Rupert Aranda. He went to 7 different Division III college camps. There was no more than 100 kids in any one of those camps. He stood out. He had Division III schools pouring over him, and he ended up choosing a great school in Union College and had a great successful career. He was the number 1 recruit at several of those schools. Be somebody's number 1 recruit, Okay, be somebody's number one recruit. So that's the big 10 points plus 3 amazing bonuses. Be somebody's number one recruit. Figure out where that is and go work out for that college on their college one day. At a smaller school, there's not going to be a lot of athletes there. That's a great opportunity. Okay, any questions that you have? The first question I did have, and my guy who's live with me, actually there's a few guys that are live with me on our broadcast. Feel free to start firing questions as this is the last masterclass here. And we'll have another program coming up shortly, but this is the last masterclass on recruiting. Small town record. If you live in a small town, I went to a high school in a small town. It was a small school. We had only less than 100 kids in our class. Actually didn't play in a great football program. I actually followed most of these steps before people even did things like this. But I sent my film out to so many colleges. And back then, you didn't have combines and showcases. The key is to get your film out there and to follow up. When all else is said and done, if you go live in a small town and you start doing that, you'll find schools that are interested in you, and you can start to work from there. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer? Questions? I'm coming out of 8th grade. Also, any tips for freshman players? Yeah, the earlier you start the process, the better. So the younger you are, the earlier in the process you should be going to combines, camps, showcases as early as you can, especially if you've already hit puberty. You start to get more physical. You should definitely start going to camps, okay? If you have good GPA, start sending your profile to college coaches. Coach, what happens if a D2 school wants you to suit up with equipment? I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. Clarify that a little bit more, that question. Is that in a workout? Is that at a camp? I went to New Jersey camp. Congratulations on being MVP. This summer we should have some more, June and July, so stay tuned to NUCSports.com. I'll just shoot up with equipment. I'm not sure what we're asking here. Oh, at a camp. Okay, yeah. So if they have equipment at a camp, it's up to you, but I would suit up with equipment. If everybody has equipment there, if you can get your equipment, I would suit up at it and show what you can do. Sometimes guys want to see an equipment. It's really up to you, but if a college coach asks you to do something, it means they're interested. Okay. Any other questions? No problem. Derek, can I call you back? I'm on a live broadcast. Derek DePasquale on the line. That's DePasquale. I'm sorry, on the line. DePasquale. Listen, DePasquale, let me hit you back. Okay, Coach Schumann, the innovator, the creator, the magician, the great, the one, the only Dave Schumann. All right, can everybody on the live stream still see me? Just let me know. Talk to me. Let me know if you can still hear me. I may have lost some people there. Anyone else? Okay, any other questions that I can answer? I'll go right now to our Q&A. You guys can hear me good. Any other questions that you have before I sign off? I'll give you guys a few seconds. Ask any questions that you may have. They might start talking to you right after camp. So from our camp standpoint, we send stuff out. If you go to NUCSports.com, you'll see a bunch of our camps. We send stuff out monthly to the college coaches, so they'll get all your data and information. They may start talking to you. That's why you want to start reaching out to them. Be proactive. Don't wait for them to reach out to you. Start reaching out to them and introducing yourself and getting that process rolling. If you're at a college camp, okay, I recommend going up and talking to the position of coach, talking to the head coach, introducing yourself, especially if you think you can be recruited by that school. You know, if they're going to offer you, they're going to offer you right there in a lot of cases. what high schools are the most looked at? You'd have to tell me an area because I'm not sure, the area that you're in. Obviously, regionally, they're different schools. The bottom line is the best players, if they go through the process, the 10 steps that I laid out, the best players are going to get recruited because they'll follow all the steps and they'll be in great position. Now, if you're elite, the 1% of the 1%, then you're going to, you're probably going to get recruited no matter what. James, ask that question again, James. Because it just popped out here. We get here. Let's see. Where's my chat? James, ask me about satellite camps again. I missed the question there. Long Island, I'm not sure. I know St. Anthony's a very good, used to be a very good program, but I'm not sure 100% on Long Island. I think Sachem is probably a pretty good high school as well. I think you asked about satellite camps, James. Ask that question in the chat again if you can. Kentucky, Trinity Christian, maybe. Lexington Christian, that might be, or Lexington Catholic. You just sent the new one. Okay, cool. So our satellite camps more important than that. There is no satellite camps anymore. Those are gone. You're better off at a smaller camp, I think, unless you're at the top of the top, and go into smaller college camps. Yeah, like a mega camp. Mega camps have a lot of coaches at it, and they can be beneficial. To me, I'd rather go to a smaller camp if I was going to be recruited by those big schools, go to a smaller camp where they have like 15 schools at it and less kids. Being one of 1,000, I'll give you an example. A few years ago, the satellite camp that Paramus Catholic ironically hosted, is before all that stuff got banned, there had to be 100 college coaches there, and they didn't even – coaches were asking me, where do you start? Where do you begin the process of looking at all these kids, because there's 750 kids there. So you're better off where you have a pool of 100 so you can get looked at. That's just my opinion. There's 750 kids. I mean, who are you going to look for? The guy who's the tallest, fastest, biggest athlete. That's where you're going to start, and then you're going to go from there. So it's a lot harder to get looked at. Any other questions? James, I hope that helped, by the way. Oh, you're welcome. Good. I'm glad that was helpful. Any other questions? Going once. Going twice. Just so you know, James, obviously you were already on the masterclass. You got to see everything. I think it was real beneficial to you. Berkey, there was a couple other guys that were on it. If I forgot your name, I'm sorry. But I hope it was beneficial to you. For people who were not on the masterclass full time, got tidbits of it, you might have joined in here and there on Instagram or something. This masterclass is going to be made available offline at a later date. So those of you who missed it, you'll get an opportunity to get the rebroadcast live. Well, it's not live, but you get the rebroadcast of all this unbelievable information. I hope you wrote the stuff that I gave you down, those 10 steps, plus the 3 bonuses. If you didn't, listen to the broadcast again. Those of you who are on the masterclass, you'll get a copy of that, so you'll be able to listen to it again if you want. Anybody else have any questions about recruiting our next masterclass? Does anyone have any requests as to what they'd like to see from me with respect to football on our next master class? Requests for the next master class. Would you like to see special guests? All right. We're going to sign off here. I'll come up with it myself. Thank you very much for joining our master class on recruiting. I hope it helps you. We'll see you soon. Coach Schumann signing off. those of you who are on my masterclass, I want to thank you again. We'll make some more of the 10 steps. We'll make that available for you. In the bonus footage, you'll get all of that delivered via email. If you have any questions, email me, dschum.an36@gmail. I'll be glad to help you. If you want support with your recruiting process, email me. I'll help you out for a fee. It'll be well worth it. I'll take all these 10 these 10 steps, and me and you will do it together, and I will help you through that whole entire thing and handhold you through that whole entire process, including sending out information on your behalf for you. My name holds a lot of weight, so if you send me your film and you're interested in that, I'll take a look at that for you. All right, thank you very much for being a part of Masterclass. We'll look forward to seeing you soon.